8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask the question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn a hole in my head. This devil man and his master plan, we feel so misled. So I say, rise up, take all that. Rise up, take all that. Rise up. Hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the actual main channel. For now, we shall see how long we are here. I see my voice is working, so hopefully you can hear me. OMG is in the house. RG Homestead. What's up, RG? How you doing? And Broken Patriot. Sweet. So we have been gone for now 2 weeks from this main channel. And that does have a lot of toll on that, because the casual viewer that would catch, 2 to 3 episodes a week, maybe not even a full one, but, a couple minutes. They didn't bother to go to poisonstinger 2, whatever, and that's fine. I mean, you're going to have that. I'm not demanding people. I mean, like, if I got upset, like, y'all don't love me. I mean, come on. Well, I have channels that I'm subscribed to that, you know, I'll pop in here and there, but I don't religiously watch it. And I have the channels that I religiously watch. We all have that, right? And I expect nothing else except for, I'm just letting you know, 2 weeks away from a channel that you're putting out content every single day almost. It has a toll. And I have a feeling that if we do end up keeping this channel, that toll will be hard to overcome for a little while. And it is what it is. And I think Riddle Girl is back from visiting our neighbor. So for those who had no idea that we were gone, I'm surprised. You should at least know that I wasn't showing up in your feed. If you're curious, I got a strike. I got a second strike on a video I had already deleted. So I'm gonna explain this for those who weren't here that may be watching this now or later. The first strike that I had, the first strike was because I used Rebel's video that plays in the intro, and it had some questionable. Well, actually, no. The first strike was different. I forget what the first strike is, right? But they gave me a second strike. And it was Reb's music that had some pictures in it that were blurred. They were blurred, but, you know, YouTube didn't like it. So they struck my channel with strike number 2. I appealed that because Rebel had appealed that on his channel a long time ago, and they just age restricted his video, which would have been okay, right? It means you can't share. There's a few other things you can't do, stuff like that. Anyway, so I get this. I'm like, oh, crap. All right. Well, I appealed it, and I won that appeal. They're like, you know what? You're right. You can go ahead and have this on your channel as well, but we are going to age restrict your video. I was like, okay, great. However, the last time, or the first strike that I got on this channel, that is now still counted as strike number 1, was for a video that had gotten striked. I appealed. The strike got removed. And then they striked it again. The same video for the same reason. I just appealed that, I said. Well, obviously I just appealed that. You need to go back and check that. Oh, this time we're not going to accept your appeal. It's going to remain a strike. That's my first strike. So this strike, as soon as they striked me and I won that appeal, I took it upon myself to delete every video that I had posted with that as the intro. I didn't just trim that part out. I full on deleted the video. Maybe I should have just edited that part out. I don't know. But I full on deleted them, trying to stay within the guidelines. YouTube then strikes that video again. But that video has already been deleted. Like at this point, almost a month ago. So a month had gone by, and they struck the video for the same reason, for the graphic violence that was shown in these photos that were blurred out. I won the last appeal. And knowing that they restrike shit, I went ahead and deleted it, and they still strike a video that I personally had deleted almost a month prior, trying to stay within their guidelines. And they say I can't even appeal it because it's deleted. You kidding me? And I did not get that appeal. So I currently have 2 strikes on my channel. Whether that's a troll or whatever, somebody doesn't want us to be on, maybe. That very well could be the case. Most likely is. They're, you know, trolls these days, they have a lot more pull than they used to. Back in the day, all they could do is threaten you with a good time and call you all sorts of names. Nowadays, they just report you for having some photos on your chat. So we'll see. We'll see how long this lasts. It'll be very sad if this channel does get removed, because I've had this channel since I started on YouTube. This was originally a channel that I had made just to share some stuff with my daughter, with my relatives, because we lived all over the United States. It turned into a Rubik's Cube / Buckyball, which is these little ball magnets channel, and then eventually went into Big Brother behind the screens, a reality show talk show. I talked about the reality show Big Brother. And then it got into the firearms, and now it's in the political. I have never had a problem with YouTube. Not really, not a serious problem until the last 2 years. And technically the last year. And it is what it is. It's going to be sad if this channel goes, but if it does, so be it. Don't you just love YouTube? I do love YouTube. I remember, 2006 is when I joined YouTube. We had stars. It wasn't owned by Google. You didn't have a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It was stars. How many stars are you going to rate this video? You'd get 1 stars and 5 stars. That was the 90% of everybody was either 1 star or 5 stars. Every once in a while, I'd get a critic like, I didn't really love the video, but it wasn't total shit. I'm going to give it a 2 star or a 3 star or even a 4 star, right? But majority was either 1 star or 5 stars. And when they instituted the thumbs up, thumbs down, I actually was a fan of that because I thought, it's either you like it or you don't. This bullshit of 3 stars or 4 stars is shit. This video, why haven't we seen hyperinflation? The thumbnail for the video tonight and the thumbnail for the video that I'm referencing is the same. It's why haven't we seen hyperinflation? If you want to watch that video, that is in my Discord. If you don't know about my Discord, there is a link down below where you can go and hit my Discord up. It's a great platform for us to talk off of YouTube so that you can know where I go and when I go there. I can share photos with you. You can share photos with me. You can share stories with me. I can share stories with you. I can even voice call you there. It's kind of like a text message / chat. In fact, there are people that have chats there, or at least conference calls. So it's a great platform. If you haven't given it a shot, maybe consider doing so. It's pretty nice. It doesn't look like DLive is going.
Never mind, it's working.
Never mind, it's working. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Riddle Girl. I always wanted to, even if it wasn't going right now, there's not a damn thing I could do about it. And I was pretty sure it was going because I'd seen people on there that would have stopped without me knowing. Anyway. All right, let's get to it. Let's try to keep on the air, shall we? And start off with this story. So this one, I was online looking for a new Hawaiian shirt. I like to rock them. Riddle Girl was surprised. She never thought I'd be a Hawaiian shirt kind of guy. I always liked really dark clothes and not too flashy. Didn't want to bring too much attention to myself. But as of recent, after the last, a little over a year, I've been wearing Hawaiian shirts. And so I was like, I saw a guy at a bank. He was very fabulous. And he had a black Hawaiian shirt with this red smokiness that went down the sides here and there. And I was like, oh, that was good. I need to look for one of those. I'm going to look for that. I didn't find it, unfortunately, but I did find this story about how certain people have hijacked the Hawaiian shirt. And that's horrible because I absolutely love the Hawaiian shirt. And just so you know, this is not a right-leaning article. Okay, so we're gonna see what they have to say about it. They've been growing underground for months, years, or possibly on the gloomier levels of the internet. The gloomier levels of the internet, like YouTube, where the dank memes live. Oh, they're so dank. But lockdown and early summer sunshine made them rise in the civic spaces of America. Closely, hibiscus flowers, cyad leaves, fat yellow pineapples, the bright, cheerful blooms of armed and dangerous white alt-right America. Fascism has a history with fashion. In the 1930s, the bad guys designed their own shirts and commissioned Hugo Boss to produce them in black and brown, for the actual military. The actual military. Their uniforms that were black and brown. for the SS and just for the regular people. Their modern American cousins buy them off the rack at high street beachwear boutiques. The Boogaloo Boys, as they're known, an amorphous coalition of gun-loving, anti-statistic, white appropriation. I don't know what you want. I need to come up with a word for that because I got another video age restricted because I think I used that in a sentence. Preppers and libertarians have adopted the Aloha shirt as regulation. A garment once associated with golfing seniors and barbecue dads now wraps the bodies of American militiamen gagging for a second civil war. I don't know. I thought that was hilarious. That was July 31st of last year, 2020. I love it that they found one that was We the People with the 3%. So he's a boogaloo. Dude, that's a meme. Where the dank memes live. Oh my goodness. I see Parler is back up again. Yeah, I was gonna talk about that, and I just decided not to. I guess they got a different server, so they own their own server probably now. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh yeah, I wonder who's hosting them now. I believe they own their own hosting thing now, Riddle. That's how Gab stayed up all this time, is because they had their own servers. They saw that writing on the wall, and they made sure that they weren't upheld or apparent. I don't know. They weren't tied to anybody. It's a new CEO, and the background in the internet issue will have to see this goes this time. What? Yeah, it's a new CEO because the old CEO got ousted. And there's reports that he wasn't as freedom-loving as he claimed to be when he left. So we will see. Just try to log in. Seems like their stuff isn't quite working. Parler isn't working right. Well, that's welcome to it. I didn't get to organize my stories like I usually like to do. I don't know. I just couldn't figure out a good organization for them tonight. So we're going to do it on the fly. Trump calls out Biden over the fake shot claim, either lying or mentally gone, he says. Former President Trump roared back with a vengeance this week, less than a month since leaving office. Of course, given Democrats' fixation with him, which led to an unprecedented post-presidency impeachment, some might argue Trump never really left a public state. However, with his Twitter account now permanently suspended, Trump had maintained a lower profile until his acquittal on Saturday, when he promised a return with a vision for a bright, radiant, and limitless American future. Now, it seems the Republican leader is fast eclipsing Howe low-energy successor in dominating the news cycle yet again. Trump called into Fox News on Wednesday to pay respects to longtime ally Rush Limbaugh. He also issued a blistering response to recent attacks from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, and he hinted at the possibility of developing a new social media platform. It'd be interesting. I'd be on it. I'd be on it. You gotta be on Trump's new social media during a Wednesday. Instead of making a new social media, he should make a new operating platform. Like Apple and Google. Right now, all we have is Apple and Google. If we had another platform that was good, that somebody with a lot of money could really dump into some infrastructure into it, that would go a long way, having a third option. During a Wednesday night call to Newsmax, Trump issued what might be his most prominent direct criticism of Biden since leaving office, although it bore the same hallmarks as his frequent election season attack on Biden's mental alacrity. Trump ripped into the falsehood Biden uttered during Monday night's CNN town hall, in which he claimed to have been in possession of a shot when his administration took over, according to Zero Hedge. I saw that he said there was no shot when he came into office. And yet he got a shot before he came into office, Trump said. It was already in early November when we announced it, but we actually had it substantially before that, he continued. We were given millions of shots and millions of doses. Left-friendly fact-checkers, such as Washington Post Glenn Kessel and other people, soliloquized at length over the fact that Biden's patently false claim was one of the gaffe-prone president's many accidental misstatements. Oh, he just made a goof. But Trump noted that citing Biden's dementia to forgive his lying hardly presented a more appealing alternative. He's either not telling the truth or he's mentally gone. One or the other, Trump said. Could he be joking? Because frankly, that was the very dumb statement. Suffice it to say, Trump corrected the record, a point of pride for his administration given the historic speed at which he was able to mobilize private industry through Operation Warp Speed to come up with multiple shots that had high rates of effectiveness. Yet the left's effort to deny credit to him, including the decision by Pfizer and Moderna to wait until immediately after the election before announcing their shots, was also a big bit of a sore spot for Trump supporters, many already leery of the politicization surrounding the shot and the shot. Trump relished in the fact that even some fake news outlets had called out his successor over the outlandish claim. Biden being killed on that whole thing, Trump said. Even the haters are saying, this shot was announced long before. He's getting lit up on that one. I thought that was funny. The dank meats. Are you on Discord posted by me? Dank meats? I don't want any dank meat. Dank memes. I like dank memes. What's the problem with a dank meme? It's funny. That's the whole idea of a meme in the first place. And the dank ones are just extra saucy. They're the ones that aren't safe for work. Let's see. What's up, RG? What's up? Okay, everybody's saying hello. Trump should buy CNN, rename it Conservative News Network. Ooh. That would be something, Trump book. Oh, what other? Come on. Come up with some other social media names. You know it's going to have Trump on it somewhere. So it's Trump what? Because he's also going to probably copy it. I like Trump book. There's got to be some other ones, especially like if he does start his own platform like Apple or Google. It'd be Trumple, maybe. I don't know. Ivanka tells Rubio she won't run for his Senate seat. Well, I'm sure he's happy about that. I mean, he probably was a little bit worried. I mean, if I would be for sure. She'd probably win. Ivanka Trump will not be running for Florida Senator Marco Rubio's seat in 2022 as she settles into her life after Washington. The former president's eldest daughter and ex-senior White House advisor spoke with Rubio several weeks ago and told him she would not be running for his seat, according to Rubio's campaign spokesperson. So Rubio's campaign spokesperson came out and like, hey, everybody, don't worry. Ivanka's not running. It's totally Rubio. She backing Rubio. The two have also discussed appearing at a joint event. Yes, they're going to be besties. The conversation, first reported by the New York Times, comes a day after Donald Trump reemerged after nearly a month of self-imposed silence, conducting a series of interviews to commemorate the death of conservative commentator Rush Limbaugh. Trump would not comment on his political future in the interviews, saying it was too soon to talk about whether he'd run again in 2024. But there is plenty of speculation that other Trumps may want to follow in his footsteps. Laura Trump, the former president's daughter-in-law, who served as chief campaign surrogate, is still considering running for the Senate in North Carolina. And former president's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., remains deeply popular with his father's base. In a pair of friendly statements, Rubio and Ivanka praised one another for their efforts together working on the issues like paid family leave. I'm incredibly grateful to Ivanka for her friendship and support, said Rubio. The challenges working moms and dads face in today's economy are real, and Ivanka was a formidable and effective advocate for them. Marchio has been a tremendous advocate for working families, a good personal friend, and I know he will continue to drive meaningful progress on the issues we both care about deeply, said Ivanka. Kind of sad. I would love to see them all run. Whether they win or not, I'd just like to see it. We'll see what happens. Stupid spell checkers. Yeah. Well, maybe if you'd spell it right, it'd be all right. Think meats. I thought it was funny. Senator Tim Scott, Trump still the most powerful political figure in the U.S. As the war of words escalated between Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and former President Trump, a leading potential contender for the future Republican nomination warned pro-swamp party members not to get ahead of themselves. I still believe that President Trump is the most powerful political figure on either side, Senator Tom Scott said. The news loves President Trump or they hate President Trump, which gives him plenty of coverage, continued Scott, who spoke in support of Trump during last year's Republican National Convention. Scott urged his GOP colleagues to put the country's interest ahead of their individual personality clashes, saying party divisions would only serve to help power-hungry Democrats compensate their strong stranglehold. Okay. What we need, in fact, is a unified message from the Republican Party, he said. We don't need personalities driving your future. We all need to be the same thing. You gotta love that. You don't want diversity, not in the Republican Party. You don't want no free thinkers. We all have to go together. But he also dispelled the suspicious left-driven narrative endorsed by McConnell that Trump's followers were brainwashed cultists who remained blindly loyal to Trump for the wrong reasons. The policy positions of President Trump led to the lowest unemployment rate for African Americans, Hispanic, Asians, and for women in 70 years, he noted. What we need now is more President Trump policies that focus on inclusive economy, focused on HBCU funding, focused on the lowest tax rate we've seen in generation that led to the fastest increase in employment and wages at the bottom faster than the top. Scott continued, because Trump's policies positions literally transformed the American economy. It comes as rumbling grew louder than ever for a viable third-party split that could consign the Republican Party to corrupt pro-establishment centrists while veering the right in a more populist direction. Recent polling revealed that 70% of Republicans were likely to follow Trump if the two intra-party factions were to go their separate way. 70%. If Trump were to split from the GOP and create his own party, polling suggests he might well create the second largest political party in the country, knocking the GOP down to third. I'm rooting for it. I'm absolutely rooting for it. Go for it, bro. Study warns that Biden's stimulus plan will hurt the economy in the long term. What's up, Quantum Lotus? How are you doing today? By the way, we had a spotting of M. I don't know if M is in here now and just chilling, but even if I could tell you if she was or not, I wouldn't say. But we saw M at some of our game nights over on the gaming channel, which was really cool. It's been a while since I've seen M, so I'm glad that she's still around. Trump News Network. Hello, everybody. You can also find me there on DLive. DLive is great. Also, Discord. If you don't have Discord, you should think about getting Discord. I'm going to sell it to you one of these days. I think Trump has grabbed more independents and Dems. I do think so, too. I mean, you got a lot of Bernie supporters that went with Trump. A lot. They didn't want to go with Hillary. Right, and they didn't really like Biden much either because they both stole it from Bernie. Supposedly, Darf did. Darf did. Study warns that Biden's stimulus plan will hurt the economy long term. This goes into the whole. We have printed 40%, all the money that's in circulation right now. 40% of it in the last 12 months. I believe it's 50%, and that's when usually hyperinflation starts. And that's why I have that video, as I said, on Discord that you can go check that out. It's pretty interesting. President Biden is hitting the road and traveling across the country to pitch his $1.9 trillion sniffle stimulus and relief spending proposal to voters. The legislation includes $1,400 relief checks, a further 6-month expansion of temporary super generous unemployment benefits that often pay more than work, $350 billion for bailouts for state and local governments, partisan provisions like a federal $15 minimum wage, and much more. Economics interviewed by FEE warned the package was an economical, unjustified plan that incentivizes unemployment. It sure as hell does. Yet, with his road trip and ongoing lobbying efforts, Biden hopes to persuade voters and members of Congress that his stimulus proposal is necessary for the long-term economic recovery. But a new Ivy League analyst suggests the opposite. Scholars at the University of Pennsylvania Wharton School of Business analyzed the plan and found that the massive spending splurge will cost roughly $13,260 per federal taxpayer. So everybody who pays taxes, 13 grand. Would only cause a slight uptick in economic growth in 2021. And the analysts warn that this minor boost would just be an instant gratification and that skyrocketing government debt caused by the blowout legislation would undermine any gains in the medium to long term. The existence of the debt saps the rest of the economy, Warren, an analysis in Frame said. When the government is running budget deficits, the money that could have gone to productive investments is redirected. So here's the thing, yeah. In that documentary that I watched, they're talking about how we didn't cut spending from anything else. When the whole sniffle stuff came in and we're giving out free money, they didn't take that money from another program. No. We're going to continue spending money on all the programs that we already spent money on. We're just going to spend even more than what we were doing by giving out free money to you, the American people, and everybody we want to overseas. You know, the gender studies and things like that. So we're just spending even more. Effectively, what we're doing is taking money from some people and giving it to other people for consumption purposes, he continued. Those people aren't adding anything back into the economy, like people that are unemployed. They're consumers. They're not production. Or, you know, if you're producing and you're consuming, that's the healthy economy. But if you're unemployed and all you're doing is sapping off of it, that's not good. That has value for social safety nets and redistributive benefits, but long term, you're taking away from the capital that we need to grow our economy in the future. Biden's costly plan would explode the national debt. This, per Wharton, would lead to a crowding out effect over the coming years as more loan money is taken away from productive businesses / private sector investments and instead consumed by government debt. As a result, the analysts find that workers would see a small decline, not an increase, in their hourly wages by 2022, and a slightly larger decline in their hourly wages by 2040. In 2022, the overall number of hours worked would actually fall due to the plan. Wharton concludes that Biden's spending binge would actually lead to a smaller economy in 2022. And how's that for a stimulus? Interesting. I think Trump has grabbed more independents and Dems. Hello, RG. Game night was fun. Sweet. Food is going up. Gas taxes and stress. That would be epic. It would piss off the get off my lawn party. We need more engagement in the sea of OMGs. Okay. I just let the Bezos and the tech giants pay for it. Yeah, tax the rich until there was no rich left to tax. Why the road trip? Nobody voted for him, but he's there. He doesn't need any of us peasants. Whose road trip? Where is Mr. Gates? He's too busy putting carbon into concrete. Actually, right now, he's trying to get you all on synthetic beef and eating insects instead of beef. I pay that in some. Let's see if you haven't already. And Apple still owes taxes to Ireland, do they? Cool. So here we go. Activists are suggesting that we pay criminals not to kill people. Can I get on that list? I'd love to get on that list of money. A convicted murderer turned community activist in Baltimore has a radical approach to combating the city's stunning murder rate. Pay criminals not to kill. The controversial idea comes from Tyree Moorhead, who was 15 when he was put away for second-degree murder and spent 18 years behind bars. I can relate to the shooters, said the activist, who now transforms scenes of deadly shootings into so-called no-shoot zones. Guess what they want? They want money. Baltimore has been racked by violent crime in recent years, closing out 2020 with 335 homicides, according to statistics from the Baltimore Sun. In 2019, there were 348 murders. I've talked to these people. I've seen the shooters. It's a small city. I know who the hustlers are, Moorhead said. Former Baltimore police spokesman T.J. Smith agreed that a creative approach is needed to thwart the violence in the city, but said cash is not the answer. It could make it easier for people to get their hands on guns because they now have an influx of different levels of cash. You're just going to fund them getting more weapons. Hear me out. I love the idea. I love it that he's actually trying to, I don't know, maybe he's actually their boss and nobody knows about it and he's just trying to get them all paid. But here's the thing. You never have enough money. You look at government. You see it happening there. Obviously, it's going to be the same thing for your street hustler. You give him $1 million, he's not going to know what to do with it. He's going to blow it on hookers and blow and a fancy new whip and some new shoes. And then the rest of it, a whole bunch of gold-plated gats. A lot of gold-plated gats. And then he's going to go out there and he's going to get some more money because he's repping. He's fronting. You know what I mean? Brilliant. OMG, that's it. Epping fair. What? I'm going to move to Mexico, denounce my citizenship, and then sneak across the border so I can go to college for free. There you go. That sounds like something you should think about doing. Virginia passed a law that illegal immigrants, undocumented citizens get free tuition at any state college. Well, there you go. What are you going to study? I'm curious. So if you don't follow the rules, you are the one that suffers. Pretty much. Math. It's the R word. Calculates Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Oh, that's something else that they're doing right now. Bill Gates can eat a fat cockroach. Well, he might. A radical new push to purge math curricula from allegedly R practices like showing your work. Showing your work is an R word practice. And finding the correct answer. Finding the correct answer is the R practice. It is bankrolled by one of the nation's most prominent nonprofit, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The Gates Foundation is the only donor mentioned on the homepage of a pathway to equitable math instruction. A group of 25 education organizers whose curriculum states that asking students to show their work and find the right answer is inherently R-word practice. Really? Over the past decade, the Gates Foundation has given upward to $140 million to some of the groups behind Pathway, whose anti-R-word resources are the basis for a new teacher training course offered by the Oregon Department of Education. The Education Trust, a California-based group that prompted the September release of Pathway Anti-R-Word Toolkit, has received $86 million from the Gates Foundation, including a $3.6 million grant awarded in June. Teach Plus, another group dedicated to creating an anti-R-word culture in K-12 schools, has received more than $27 million from the Gates Foundation. You thinking about homeschooling yet? The group's board members include former Democratic Congressman George Miller and Obama-era Secretary of Education John King Jr., who is also the president of the Education Trust. West Ed, a nonprofit committed to dismantling systematic barriers in school, have received more than $35 million from the Gates Foundation since 2009. Unbound Ed, an organization dedicated to helping teachers disrupt systematic R-word in the classroom, has received nearly $14 million in grants from the Gates Foundation since 2015. The Gates Foundation has given smaller sums to other groups behind the pathway, the latest attempt to bring the critical R theory, the idea that American political and economic institutions are inherently R-word, into schools. Unique about Pathways focused on mathematics, the group's first guidebook, Dismantling R-Word in Mathematics Instruction, asks teachers to observe how math is used to uphold capitalist, imperialist, and R-ist views. R-ist views. Because showing your work is an R-ist statement. Coming to the right answer. You know, instead of guessing because you did the work, is an R word. Okay. Crazy. Personal opinion. So now if you don't follow the rules, you are the one that suffers. Yeah, it's backwards. If you follow the rules, you suffer. What is going on in this world? How did money bought humanity? Demo Ranch has a gold 50 BMG now. Not surprised. I haven't watched a Demo Ranch in forever, bro. I've seen a couple of them show up, and I'm like, oh, I saw a thumbnail of Off the Ranch. I think it was Off the Ranch, where he is souped up the El Camino and put on truck tires on the back. And I so want to know how that happened because I don't know anything. That's all I got is the photo. What's up, Bikes and Bullets? How you doing? So there were tapes of Trump from Epstein. I have no idea. Was there? Do we have that? That had to be, I mean, once they get that, yeah, we have the one little instance of him with Epstein and a young lady that I have in my opening. I would love, like, if there was actual evidence of that, the news would have been over that, like, nonstop. I'm sure they were with the one photo even of him. Apparently forcing anyone to do work or be accountable for their actions is the R word. It is. What the hell would anybody reap what they sow? I send a BLL a request to send me money. Bill and Linda. As a Discord, I do have a Discord stream elements. Thank you for telling everybody about it. Yes, RG, it is BS. Yep. Far left capital riot, our person, the capital person, far left capital person was paid thousands of dollars by CNN and NBC. Far left, John Sullivan, you know, he was at the Capitol, received $35,000 from each CNN and NBC News for the January 6th footage that he recorded of Trump supporter Ashley Babbitt's death inside the Capitol building. This guy from BLM just got paid $80,000. $80,000 for Ashley Babbitt choking on her last breath. Here's the thing. Trump won his second impeachment of a private citizen. There are going to be people, there are already Congress people that are suing him. I hope and I pray that Ashley Babbitt's family sues President Trump for wrongful death. Because I think they would win. These people, and I don't know of everybody who died, but Ashley Babbitt was a veteran. Looked like a hard worker, somebody with a good head on their shoulders, went there to stand up for what she saw as an injustice and got killed for it. And the man who asked everybody to be there got all bent out of shape when they actually went to air their grievances. Yeah, I think Trump is accountable. I think he's 100% accountable. And I think if Ashley Babbitt's family I don't know if they will because they're obviously Trump supporters. If they do, I bet you they win. I bet you they win a lot of money. Corey, let's see. According to the records filed in federal court, the Black Lives Matter militant, who is facing criminal charges by federal authorities for his alleged involvement in the Capitol Hill January 6th day, was awarded $70,000 total. Okay, well, that's $35,000 each. That is not $70,000 total. So which one is it? Is it $35,000 each, making it $80,000, or is it $70,000 total? Maybe after taxes. CNN Anderson Cooper featured Sullivan on his show in the wake of the thing that happened to present his account of the self-professed heroic reporter who both witnessed and captured the female Air Force veteran's death. In addition to the invoices filed by Sullivan's lawyer from the major broadcasters for the rights to air his footage, the defendant also received $5,000 from the left/right productions and $2,500 from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Sullivan's legal counsel disclosed the payments as part of the 26-year-old Utah native's argument that he was present at the time to document and report the event for journalistic purposes, not to incite or engage in any kind of misconduct. The founder of the Utah-based extremist groups, Insurgents USA, maintains that he has embedded himself among the pro-Trump mob to record the January breach of the Capitol building. But the FBI special agent noted that, or via sworn affidavit, that Sullivan even admitted that he has no press credentials. You're just a random dude. See, so am I. I'm a random dude. But I mean, I think that should count. I don't know. The investigation failed to yield any connection between Sullivan and any journalistic organizations. These are recorded examples of Sullivan agitating the crowd when individuals climbed the wall to reach the plaza just outside the Capitol building's entrance. Sullivan can be heard shouting on camera, "You guys are effing savage. Let's go. We did this together. F yeah, we are all a part of this history," Sullivan stated in a video, evidence cited by the prosecutors. "Let's burn this crap down." Dude, you're on video saying, "Let's burn this crap down." If you get off, if he gets off, oh my goodness. What's up, Bike? So there's tapes of Trump and Epstein apparently forcing anyone to do work or be accountable. Yep. And why the hell would anyone have to reap what they sow? Read that. Say some Trump was setting a trap to catch him. I don't know. Only he knows. Quantum Lotus says some say Trump was setting a trap to catch him. I don't know. Only he knows. Catch who? Epstein? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's that 5D chest again. I have an idea for a movie, a dystopian future where the darker your skin is, the less you have to work for anything or to be responsible for anything. Okay. Quantum Lotus, I know they leaked the ledgers on Twitter long ago. Trump's name had nothing next to it. Most names had what they preferred, B or G. Huh, interesting. The Electro has 600 HP LS in it. Cletus McFarland and crew installed it. The mud tire are 35s off his Bronco. It's a burnout car. He made it into a burnout car? I thought it was supposed to be something for the ranch. Cool. What happened to the vet that he had for the burnout car? He had a special Corvette for that. See, this is what happens. Power is back on. Oh my goodness. Texas Antique, congratulations. I was wondering about you, and then I was like, oh yeah, he's in Texas. And everybody I know, doesn't matter where they live in Texas, has been affected by this. I have somebody in East Texas. I have a few people in Dallas. I have you, which I don't know exactly where you are, but I know Riddle Girl does. We have a lot of people that we know in Texas that don't have power right now. So congratulations. I'm glad to hear that. Trying to stay warm. And maybe look into getting a generator when you can find one, because I'm sure every one of them's been sold now. Let's see. That's awesome. How are you and your family? Everybody's asking. Dark winter, confirmed, mask, chemtrail, Thursday and Friday. How do you liking that global warming there, Texas Antiques. Well, I'm sorry, climate change. That's what it is. It's climate change, and it's because of climate change that you got so cold there this winter. You know, it happens like once every 10 years, almost like clockwork. They could probably, maybe think about doing something proactive for that. Do you think it was a DARPA storm? It's BS, bro. It's mostly man-made disasters. I wouldn't doubt it. All right, so we're going to listen to 2 of this guy's videos. Some stuff in the gun stuff going on.
People are focused on that big conglomerate of terribleness. There are other individual bills that are being submitted in the shadows that they're going to attach to bigger bills so that they can pass.
So he's talking about
Shadows that they're going to. And what's been going on is while people are focused on that big gun control groups.
Okay.
And what's been going on is while people are focused on that big.
Well, they're focused on the other one that's going on.
Conglomerate of terribleness. There are other individual bills that are being submitted in the shadows that they're going to attach to bigger bills so that they can pass. And we're going to talk about another one of those here today. Before I jump into that, I want to thank Blackout Coffee. They make a great product, and it's a great family. It's a small American family. You know the deal if you've been here.
Make sure you buy some gun stuff with your stimulus money. Apparently I did not skip that.
H.R. 1004. This bill as well was submitted by Marilyn Maloney out of New York, and it's a very interesting bill. I'll read it. It's very short. I'll put it here on the screen for you. And you can see a bill to prohibit the sale of a firearm to and the purchase of a firearm by a person who is not covered by appropriate liability insurance coverage. And the short title of the bill is the Firearm Risk Protection Act of 2021. And if we move down to the meat and potatoes of the bill, you can see here in Section 2 the prohibitions on sale of a firearm to and purchase of a firearm by any person not covered by appropriate liability insurance. We'll jump down to line 8. It shall be unlawful for a person to purchase a firearm unless, at the time of the purchase, the purchaser presents to the seller proof that the purchaser is covered by a qualified liability insurance policy. It shall be unlawful for a person to sell a firearm unless, at the time of the sale, the seller verifies that the purchaser is covered by a qualified liability insurance policy. It shall be unlawful for the person who owns a firearm purchased on or after the effective date of this subsection not to be covered by a qualified liability insurance policy. And they're going to define qualified liability insurance policy, and it means with respect to the purchaser of a firearm that the policy provides liability insurance covering the purchaser specifically for losses resulting from use of a firearm while it is owned by the purchaser and is issued by an insurer licensed or authorized to provide the coverage by the state insurance regulatory authority for the state in which the purchaser resides. And the penalty is a fine of not more than $10,000. So this bill would make it illegal to sell a firearm to somebody who doesn't have insurance. You couldn't buy a firearm unless you have insurance, and then you have to verify that insurance as well. Now, this is another bill that is very small in nature, very pointed in nature, and it's definitely one of those types of bills that they attach to other bills, like omnibus packages, where the majority of that package, they're going to vote for it to be signed into law, and then these things are attached on the back end. You know, just like Joe Biden said in that article from the Las Vegas Sun, he said this was how they were going to get gun control passed during his presidency. And this is the second bill in 2 days that I've talked to you about that is going to be part of that attack. Of course, yesterday's bill I talked about was the registration. That's floating above too. Check that out if you haven't seen it. So guys and gals, we need to stay awake. We need to stay...
All right, let me catch up. They turned off the power purposely. I heard. Really interesting. He blew it up. Well, after the SolarWind breach, I believe we are not secure. They tried to poison water in Florida. This is Quantum Lotus. Do you have a link for that? April is your next check. I'm looking forward to my next check. I don't know what I'll do with it exactly, but I'll try to put some good use. Everything is IoT now. Probably will be a while before you hear anybody bragging about Texas's proprietary power grid. Yeah, I'm getting my gun. Are you? Do you already own firearms, or is this going to be your first firearm? That's the first question. If don't answer if you don't want to. And then if it is your first firearm, are you planning on getting it on the books or off the books? And do you need any help? If they put insurance on, it won't end there. It will be like Britain, licensing for everything. Fuck no. We will have meters and cards. If you have, okay. The power grid had out-of-state controller. The government stated, this make me think it is false flag. Bare minimum to our election of duty. Yes, the water poison was caught by a worker. Millions would have gotten sick. Really? Hold on. Copy link location. Oh, come on, PS. I want to get a 9. Come on, what? What did I say? I don't know. If you want to get a 9, I mean, you can get it. I know some Glock 9mm that you can print, or you can buy local. Buy from an individual if there's anybody selling right now, if you can. Let's see. No, I don't want your stuff. Someone tried to poison Oldsmar water supply during hack, sheriff says. Local and federal authorities are investigating after an attempt Friday to poison the city of Oldsmar water supply. Someone remotely accessed a computer for the city's water treatment system and briefly increased the amount of sodium hydroxide, also known as lye, by a factor of more than 100. He said at the news conference Monday, the chemical is used in small amounts to control the acidity of water, but it's also a corrosive compound commonly found in household cleaning supplies such as liquid drain cleaners. The city's water... This is what they put in your water. Yeah, only a little bit though. Just minutes. Just a little bit of poison. The city's water supply was not affected. The supervisor working remotely, which means at home, saw the concentration being changed on his computer screen and immediately reverted it. He said city officials on Monday emphasized that several other safeguards are in place to prevent contaminated water from entering the water supply, and they said they disabled the remote access system used in the attack. All right. Nobody has been arrested. Okay. They do have some leads. Interesting. So somebody, this could be a good story either side, right? I want to say good story either side. This could either be really good or really bad. First of all, they stopped it. So that's really good. Second of all, they stopped it quick. It almost immediately, and that was from some dude working at home from his laptop, so that's good, right? On the other hand, people are getting ideas, and I would like to know what his motives were. Legally? You want to get it legally? Okay. Well, obviously you want to get it legally. I want to get mine legally too. I'm just saying, do you want to get yours locally or not? You know how you do. Like, do you want to do it what's legal today that won't be legal tomorrow? You know what I mean? I don't have to wink this the whole way through. What's this? How could seeding makes it rain artificially?
Weather. But have we come to the point where we can control the weather? Technically,
Global
that's
news.
still too good to be true, but the winds might be changing. Let's talk about cloud seeding. It's described as the enhancement of natural precipitation. To explain how cloud seeding works, we need to first talk about clouds.
Clouds are a bunch of water droplets or ice crystals floating in the sky. The water droplets are too small to fall as precipitation, but they are large enough to form the clouds we see. In most parts of the world, these droplets are super cool.
Yes, thanks to him.
They're below freezing, but they remain liquid. Now, sometimes these droplets are just milling around, pushing past each other and not sticking together, kind of like a missed connection. Other times, these droplets bump into each other, like commuters on a train during a busy rush hour. The water vapors collide and stick to particles floating in the air. It could be dust, smoke particles, or even meteoric debris. Those are known as condensation nuclei.
So cloud seeding can produce what we want more or less of, more snow, more rain, or smaller hail pellets. This is done by introducing a seeding agent through pyrotechnic flares attached to an aircraft. Think Roman candles with a mission to deliver those condensation nuclei that encourage more collisions and group huddles by ice crystals inside the cloud. Common seeding agents used are dry ice, the solid form of carbon dioxide, silver iodide, or simple salts like sodium chloride. Seeding agents act as additional ice nuclei. In the case of silver iodide, its structure is very similar to ice. Hexagonal,
Thursday and Friday.
which is why experts think ice wants to bond to it. When silver iodide is used in a cloud, water droplets begin to give up water vapor and shrink. At the same time, the ice crystals already present in the cloud collect this moisture and grow. As ice crystals bang into other ice crystals, they become larger and heavier until they fall from the cloud. So why would we even want to do this? Who does it benefit?
In the wintertime,
All right. So there's the cloud seeding. That's one thing of it. A lot of people think that that's aluminum, and that is your chemtrails. So there is a difference, and I've known this for a long time. I'm not going to try to convince anybody who might not want to believe in that. That's up to you, whether you believe in that or not. But there is a big difference between contrails and chemtrails. Chemtrails are more recent, like the last 40 years, I guess. Before that, we had jets, and it was just contrails. And a contrail will disappear right away, and the other one will stick around. And usually they have them in patterns of X's. Pretty easy to notice. I know everybody knows that. But anyway, one of those things, it's not natural. It's not supposed to just stay up there forever like that. It's preaching to the choir. All right, let's get this one.
While very short, looks to do a very big thing. This is HR
1005.
This was filed by U.S. Representative Carolyn Maloney out of New York State.
Video?
And it's just a registry bill, basically plain out. I'm going to put it here on the screen. It's very short, and we'll show it to you so you know exactly what it is.
I guess
you can see HR 1005 says here, a bill to require records of the National Instant Criminal Background Check System to be retained for at least 90 days. That's the NICS system. Here's the actual verbiage of the bill. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, this act may be cited as the NICS Review Act of 2021. And the requirement would be that NICS records be retained for at least 90 days. Now, currently the law as written says that these NICS records can be kept for no longer than 24 hours. They want to strike 24 hours from the record and insert at least 90 days. This would create a de facto registry because they could keep them forever because the bill does not have a max amount of time, simply the minimum. Now, this bill was just recently filed, and it was assigned to the House Judiciary Committee on the 11th of February. And while it's like in its infancy, it already has one co-sponsor, which isn't a lot, but let's keep our eyes on this. Just be aware that this exists. If you do happen to be calling your representatives on something else, it wouldn't hurt to mention HR 1005 and how this would create a NICS registry. And there's no reason at all that they need to keep these records for more than 24 hours like the bill says now. But they just want to keep them indefinitely so they can know who has what and where they would be when the time comes that they don't want you to have them anymore. Yeah. Anytime there's a registry, guys and gals, registration is followed by confiscation throughout history. Not that I...
All right, so that's it. We got two introduced, HR 1004, HR 1005, and the other one that was already there. A lot of stuff coming through. Just be aware of it, right? What can you do? Well, you can contact your senators and governors and everybody you want to contact, and I say go for it. Go ahead and contact them. But make sure if you're looking at getting something, get it while you can, and get it as off the book as you can. And when I say off the book, I'm not saying illegal, because right now it's not. Soon it might be, right? Soon it might be. So figure that out. If you need any help on anything like that, hit me up on my Discord. I'd be more than willing to at least give you advice. I'm not going to give you anything illegal, obviously, because that would be illegal, and I don't do anything illegal. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Surrey Bobcat, I sure as heck am. Let's see. OMG, I read they see the marsh areas or else wildlife would die. No idea. Supposed to be 50 here Monday, so we'll have flooding on Tuesday. That'll be fun, right, Irish? Restream, are you, or rest or warm, are you in Texas? Yes, say no to all HRs, including human resources. Screw those people. I'm collecting snow. Once pipes burst, it's going to be like Somalia. I know 20 peeps with broken pipes. Oh, it's going to be interesting for everybody who's living in Texas. My thoughts and prayers are with you. I got a friend over there that lives in an apartment complex that's outside in the snow with a campfire to keep warm. Outside with a campfire. Like, seriously. It's messed up, man. Hopefully, if nothing else, maybe people will be prepared for the next one. Always do never trust that the system is going to work. Always be expecting that something's going to go wrong, and prepare as much as you can for it. And that's all I got for you. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Hopefully this won't be the last video I ever do on this channel. We will keep our fingers crossed. I will see you tomorrow. Make sure before I go, if you're new here, to check out the descriptions down below. We have all the places that I am linked on. Right, all the different places you can find me. I have all the causes I believe in and I support with my own money. So if you're looking at a good cause to support and you like my content, these are the ones that I suggest, including Irish USMC vet, good friend of mine who's trying to start up a location in Tennessee where veterans can come and stay room and board free while learning a new skill like farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. Very good cause. I give him half of everything I earn on this channel because I believe in it that much. Also, if you want to donate to this channel, there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can do that down in the descriptions below. However, if you want to help this channel out without giving any money of your own, liking, commenting, and the biggest one of all is sharing this content, getting it out to other people. It not only drives me to do better, but somebody else might donate physical money, you know, which then goes to extra stuff for the channel. And that's what I have been doing with most of it, with the green screen and with the nice microphone and all that stuff. So that's where that usually goes, either that or some silver. Well, when Mr. Tommy Boy 9 donates to me, I put that into silver because that's what he likes and that's what I like too. So there you go. That's all I got for you. I do have a Discord. Contrails are ice crystals. The reason they stay longer now than 40 years ago is jets fly higher, so they don't have to evaporate because it's so cold. Okay. Thanks, OMG, for that. All right, guys. Until tomorrow, I will catch you guys later. Until then, make sure to watch out for that government. Keep your family close. And try to live as free as you can in the tyrannical world we find ourselves living in. Until then, peace.